First Amendment. Freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition. The First Amendment is the cornerstone of a free and open society. It guarantees freedom of expression, allowing you to speak your mind on any topic, criticize the government even if it stings, and peacefully protest. You can freely practice any religion, or none at all. The press is unrestricted, ensuring a free flow of information and ideas. You can assemble with others to express your views and petition the government for redress of grievances. Basically, tell them what's bugging you and ask for a change. This amendment is the foundation for a healthy democracy, where citizens can actively participate in shaping their society. Second Amendment. Right to keep and bear arms. This amendment is a bit more contentious. It protects the rights of individuals to keep and bear arms, though the exact scope of this right is a topic of ongoing debate. The historical context here is about citizens being a part of a well-regulated militia, able to defend themselves and the nation if needed. However, the Second Amendment also reflects a deep distrust of a powerful central government and the importance of self-defense. Third Amendment. No quartering in homes. Remember the whole redcoats in your bedchamber thing from the American Revolution? Yeah, the colonists weren't big fans of being forced to house soldiers. The Third Amendment addresses this concern, prohibiting the government from forcing you to provide shelter for soldiers during peacetime. Your home is your castle, and the government generally needs a warrant to enter. Fourth Amendment. Protection from unreasonable searches and seizures. This amendment is all about safeguarding your privacy. It prevents unreasonable searches and seizures by law enforcement. They can't just come barging in and start snooping around your stuff. To get a warrant, they need probable cause, a legitimate reason to believe a crime has been committed, and evidence might be found on your property. This protects you from arbitrary government intrusion and ensures your privacy is respected. Fifth Amendment. Rights of the accused. The Fifth Amendment is a powerhouse of protections for criminal defendants. It shields you from self-incrimination. You don't have to say anything that might incriminate yourself. It guarantees due process of law, ensuring you get a fair trial with specific procedures followed. You can't be tried for the same crime twice, double jeopardy. And if the government takes your property for public use, eminent domain, you'll be fairly compensated. Sixth Amendment. Right to a speedy trial. The Sixth Amendment ensures that you get a fair shot in court if you're accused of a crime. It guarantees a speedy and public trial by jury, where your peers, everyday citizens, decide your guilt or innocence. You have the right to know the charges against you, to confront your accusers, to call witnesses in your defense, and to have an attorney represent you. This amendment is all about ensuring justice is served, not just accusations flying. Seventh Amendment. Right to jury trial in civil cases. The Seventh Amendment might seem a bit niche, but it's important nonetheless. It guarantees the right to a jury trial in civil cases, typically involving disagreements over money or property. Let's say you have a major beef with a neighbor about a boundary line. This amendment ensures a jury, not just a judge, gets to weigh the evidence and decide who's right. Eighth Amendment. No excessive bail or cruel and unusual punishment. Justice shouldn't be about breaking the bank or resorting to barbaric practices. The Eighth Amendment prohibits excessive bail, ensuring people aren't locked up simply because they can't afford bail. It also protects against cruel and unusual punishment. Whipping posts and public executions? Not cool in America. Ninth Amendment. Unspecified rights. The Ninth Amendment throws in a little wild card. It basically acknowledges that the Bill of Rights isn't an exhaustive list. It says, hey, these aren't the only rights you have. There are others out there that we just haven't listed yet. This ensures that even if something isn't explicitly mentioned in the Constitution, it doesn't mean it's not a right you hold. 10th Amendment. States' rights and federalism. The 10th Amendment rounds out the Bill of Rights by addressing the balance of power between the federal government and the states. It basically says the federal government gets these specific powers outlined in the Constitution, and anything else not explicitly mentioned is reserved for the states or the people themselves. This concept is known as federalism, and it ensures that power isn't concentrated solely in the hands of the federal government. States retain a significant amount of autonomy over issues like education, healthcare, and law enforcement. This division of power helps to prevent an overly powerful central government and fosters a sense of local control. The Bill of Rights gets company. Landmark amendments after the Civil War. These amendments, ratified after the Civil War, fundamentally reshaped American society by addressing the legacy of slavery and expanding the rights of all citizens. 13th Amendment, abolishing a barbaric practice. The 13th Amendment is a monumental achievement. It not only outlaws the barbaric practice of slavery within the United States and its territories, but also throws a heavy anchor on the idea of involuntary servitude. This amendment, ratified in 1865 after the Civil War, marked a turning point in American history, etching in stone the principle that all people are free and deserve basic human dignity. 14th Amendment, defining citizenship and guaranteeing equality. The 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, is another game changer. It delivers a powerful 1-2 punch. First, it definitively defines citizenship for anyone born or naturalized in the U.S., ensuring former slaves and their descendants weren't relegated to a perpetual underclass. Second, it guarantees the revolutionary concept of equal protection under the law. This means that states cannot discriminate against any citizen or deny them their fundamental rights. The 14th Amendment became a crucial weapon in the fight for civil rights for all Americans. 15th Amendment, striking down racial barriers to voting. The 15th Amendment, ratified in 1870, takes direct aim at the discriminatory voting practices of the time. It prohibits any state from denying a citizen the right to vote based solely on race, color, or previous condition of servitude. This amendment was a major step towards racial equality, dismantling a key pillar of white supremacy. However, it's important to acknowledge that the fight for full unfettered voting rights for all races continues to this day. 19th Amendment, victory for women's suffrage. The 19th Amendment, ratified in 1920, is a cause for celebration, especially for women. It guarantees women the right to vote, a hard-fought victory for the tireless women's suffrage movement. This amendment shattered a glass ceiling, allowing women a long overdue voice in shaping the government and their own destinies. 26th Amendment, empowering young voters. Ratified in 1971, the 26th Amendment recognizes the growing political awareness and civic responsibility of young adults. It lowers the voting age from 21 to 18, allowing 18-year-olds to participate in the democratic process. This amendment acknowledges that young people have a stake in their future and a right to shape the country they will inherit. Tweaking the machinery, amendments addressing government structure and function. These amendments tinker with the inner workings of the U.S. government, aiming to make it more democratic and responsive to the people's will. 17th Amendment, ratified 1913. Senators for the people. Prior to the 17th Amendment, U.S. senators were chosen by state legislatures, creating a system where these powerful figures weren't directly accountable to the public. The 17th Amendment ushered in a new era of direct democracy, allowing citizens to cast their ballots for their preferred Senate candidates. This shift ensured that senators became more attuned to the needs and concerns of their constituents. 20th Amendment, ratified 1933, setting term limits and succession plans. The 20th Amendment tackles two crucial issues: presidential term limits and the line of succession. It imposes a 2-term limit on presidents, a direct response to concerns about a potential slide towards an American monarchy. Additionally, the amendment clarifies the order of succession in case the president dies, resigns, or is removed from office. This ensures a smooth transfer of power and prevents any gaps in leadership. 22nd Amendment, ratified 1951, learning from history. The 22nd Amendment is a unique case, a direct response to a specific historical situation. Franklin D. Roosevelt's unprecedented 4 terms as president during World War II and the Great Depression sparked concerns about a leader becoming too powerful. The 22nd Amendment was a reflection of this, establishing a 2-term limit for future presidents to prevent the concentration of power in a single individual. The Constitution adapts, amendments reflecting societal changes. These amendments showcase the Constitution's ability to evolve alongside American society. 18th Amendment, ratified 1919. The rise and fall of Prohibition. Fueled by concerns about social problems associated with alcohol consumption, the 18th Amendment, also known as Prohibition, outlawed the manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages. This grand experiment in social engineering ultimately proved unsuccessful. The amendment's strictures led to the rise of organized crime and a thriving black market for alcohol. Public opinion eventually shifted, and the 21st Amendment repealed Prohibition in 1933. 21st Amendment, ratified 1933, repealing a failed experiment. The 21st Amendment serves as a powerful illustration of the Constitution's adaptability. It repealed the failed experiment of Prohibition, allowing states to regulate the sale and consumption of alcohol within their borders. The 21st Amendment demonstrates the government's willingness to listen to changing societal views and adjust its policies accordingly. Behind the scenes, lesser-known amendments with big impacts. And finally, let's check out some amendments that often fly under the radar, but have significant impacts on the U.S. government and American life. 11th Amendment, ratified 1795, protecting states' rights in court. The 11th Amendment serves as a shield for state sovereignty. It limits the ability of citizens to sue states in federal court unless the state consents such a lawsuit. This arose from concerns about states being unfairly targeted by out-of-state lawsuits in federal courts. The 11th Amendment helps maintain a balance of power between the federal government and the states. 12th Amendment, ratified 1804, avoiding awkward roommates in the White House. The 12th Amendment tackles a potential political headache. Before it was implemented, the candidate with the most electoral votes became president, and the runner-up became vice president. This could lead to situations where the president and vice president belong to opposing political parties. The 12th Amendment prevents such awkward cohabitation by requiring separate ballots for president and vice president. 16th Amendment, ratified 1913, powering progress with income taxes. The 16th Amendment is a game-changer for federal finances. It authorizes the U.S. government to collect income tax directly from citizens without apportioning it among the states based on population. This amendment provided a crucial and reliable source of revenue to fund essential government programs, infrastructure projects, and national defense. 23rd Amendment, ratified 1961. No taxation without representation in presidential elections. The 23rd Amendment extends voting rights in presidential elections to residents of Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Prior to this, D.C. residents paid federal taxes, but lacked a say in choosing the president. The 23rd Amendment rectifies this historical injustice and grants D.C. residents a voice in the national electoral process. 24th Amendment, ratified 1964, dismantling barriers to the ballot box. The 24th Amendment strikes a blow against voter discrimination. It prohibits states from requiring poll taxes as a condition for voting in federal elections. Poll taxes were a financial barrier that disproportionately affected low-income citizens, particularly African Americans in the South. The 24th Amendment ensures a more equitable and inclusive voting process. 25th Amendment, ratified 1967, ensuring smooth transitions in leadership. The 25th Amendment provides a clear roadmap for addressing presidential succession and disability. It establishes procedures for transferring power to the vice president in case the president is removed from office, dies, resigns, or becomes incapacitated. This amendment safeguards the continuity and stability of the government during times of crisis. 27th Amendment, ratified 1992. No more instant gratification raises for Congress. The 27th Amendment, the most recently ratified amendment, might seem like a technicality. However, it has an important purpose. It states that any pay raise voted on by Congress won't take effect until after the next election for the House of Representatives. This ensures that lawmakers can't give themselves a raise and immediately benefit from it. The 27th Amendment promotes accountability and discourages self-serving actions by Congress. The ongoing conversation, amendments, and the future. The amendment process is a complex one, but it highlights the dynamism of the Constitution. These amendments reflect the ongoing conversation about the role of government and individual liberties in American society. They're not set in stone. They can be changed through a challenging but very deliberate process. Remember, this is just a starting point. Each amendment has a rich history and legal interpretations that continue to evolve. If something piqued your interest, keep digging.